Welcome to today's video, everybody. As you can see behind me, we're currently at the shop, and boy has the S15 seen better days. What I thought we'd do today is actually an update video on all of the project cars that we currently have, and including the Evo. I know you guys have all been asking about what's happening with the Evo and an update there. So we're gonna tell you all the plans, what's currently underway, what parts we're waiting on, all that kind of stuff for every single one of the project cars and the cars on the channel, and what car are we gonna be working on next as well. So we'll get started and get into that. But before we get into any of the car stuff, it's been too long, hasn't it, guys? Ooh, yeah. Hey, so, we gotta shake it. Always shake these cans. Gotta get that sediment off the bottom. Oh, yeah. It's been so long since I've had one of these. It's actually depressing. I guess the first car we should talk about is the pink S15, the original pink S15, or the Yashio factory S15. Now, I think we need to just call this thing Ram from now on, or the OG S15, just because we've now got 3 of these and they're gonna just keep multiplying probably. So the original, the OG pink S15 is pretty beat up. As you guys know, I had a little bit too much fun in the wet and just got a little reckless and stupid. And yeah, we smashed this thing up quite well. We went into the tire wall, smashed Okachan's Ichigoki into my driver's side door, and you know, all the arrows seen better days. I'm surprised my front bumper is still together, to be honest, but everything needs to be replaced. Everything's held on with duct tape. Now, there is a very high chance that I'm gonna still take this driving in its current state to Meihan, which means it's probably gonna come back even worse. But I really wanna hang out and drive with my friends down there. We got Casey and Shane, so it'll be sick to drive with them at Meihan and learn some of the Kansai driving style and technique there for tandems. So we'll probably take it down in this current state, banged up, because like I said, it's gonna get more banged up. So this thing's probably gonna end up becoming more and more of a fun party car, but I still want it to always look good. So we'll figure out. It depends what happens when we finish the abandoned blue S15, what's gonna happen to this car after that, and how much more I smash it up at Meihan. So that's kind of where this car's at. Everything's good engine-wise, everything feels good, it's dialed. I need to take this thing to the dyno and just do a proper dyno tune on it. Right now it's mainly just like road and track tuned, but it's super safe, super reliable, but we don't know its like real power figures. I definitely think it's like high 450s, 460s, 470s, but we could push this thing up to 500 if we wanted to, and it would be cool to just get that, you know, kind of figures and torque and all that kind of data out of it and really like dial in some of the drivability, because it isn't like 100% there yet, but it's definitely driftable and safe. So that's kind of where it's at. So yeah, that's probably gonna be happening soon on the channel, probably next month. Moving on from the pink S15, I know one of the cars that you guys keep blowing up my DMs about is the 33.4 Skyline. It needs a new engine. Those of you who have been following this, you guys know that I'm pretty certain we've blown a ringland on a piston, and the valve stem seals are gone, because this thing just drinks so much oil and burns it out the back. It's insane. It still starts and runs though. Like I'll start it up right now for you and it won't have a single problem. But yeah, the engine is very sad. It's still a shuckin' and it's registered. There you go, she runs. So yeah, like I could take this out and drive it. She's just a bit smoky though. So, not gonna rev that up too much, it's cold. You get the gist of it. We could take this for a drive if we wanted to. But I don't wanna hurt the engine anymore and risk it. So we're just gonna let this thing chill. I'm in the process. I've been trying to get an engine for this for the longest time, and we're gonna be working with a really cool company for the engine on this car, and it's something really unique and special. In fact, I may have already got merch made for it, but because of certain delays with Nissan and blocks and stuff like that, we haven't been able to build the new engine for it, and I think the wait is currently 3 more months. Now that really sucks, and I'm actually starting to think about just pulling the pin on, you know, maybe just building a motor myself so we can at least get it running for now. But the main plan is to get a massive powerhouse in here, an engine that I've always dreamed of building in the RB series, and getting that in there and getting everything dialed. Now, at the same time that we're gonna be doing the engine, I wanna get the bay painted, and I wanna do something about the front end. I've never been kind of happy with how slapped together the 34 front end is on this. You guys kind of know where I'm going with this, but we'll let you guys figure it all out and get to see it when we do it. But something's changing with the 33.4, and not only is it gonna have an insane bulletproof like engine and drivetrain setup, but it's also gonna have a really new fresh look on the front end. And then eventually we'll get the rest of the bodywork done as well, which is gonna be super cool. So this thing's gonna probably get completely painted, new aero kit, all that kind of stuff. It's gonna look sick. So that's kind of where we're at with the 33.4. Like I said, I could take this out on the street and drive it today, but there's just no point because I always want to put my foot down. And if I put my foot down, I don't want to send a rod or a piston through the block, or you know what I mean? I want to save this because I would love to rebuild this engine and have it on the side as a spare or use it in another project coming up. Moving on to my very rare parts shelf here. As you can see, there's a lot of parts for the 32 Skyline, all just stacked up on here, all the aero parts. There's also an R34 Nismo aero bumper here. I got this for an absolute steal from Up Garage, and I got this in the hopes that one day soon I'll have a 34 Skyline that I can put this on or keep it as a spare, because these genuine Nismo front bars are selling for stupid crazy money, and I honestly couldn't believe how cheap I got that for. So I just needed to snap it up and just put it in storage. As for the Evo though, we are kind of at the point now where I'm just trying to get funds together for it. I've got to drop a big, like couple fat stacks all in one hit for this, for bodywork. When this goes in, I want it to all get done at the same time. So this thing is gonna go to my friend Bala. They're going to pretty much take off all the paint and everything down to bare metal. They're gonna remove any rust and everything under the car. And, all the parts from the other Evo that we got for the rear quarter panel and stuff, all that's gonna get changed and everything. And then everything's gonna get painted in shell form, right? And then we can start talking about, you know, assembling and getting everything else back together. But this is gonna be a big job. From what I've shown them and stuff, and they've looked at the car, they're pretty certain they can get the bottom seals all back to normal and how they should be by pulling them all out. So it looks like this thing, my goal is to try and have this thing, like all the bodywork kind of finished and done, and this thing rolling around ready for a drivetrain by the end of this year. So this will start going through really, really quickly too. The rest of the cars are not at the shop, which kind of sucks. I'm really looking forward for the day that we can actually find a much bigger shop at a really affordable price, and it is so difficult in Japan to do that. But every day we are looking, and every day May is busting her butt off to try and find something. So hopefully soon we'll have something really, really nice. I've told you guys before that my dream shop would be something similar to Max Arito's shop. I feel like he's really set up something really, really cool here in Yokohama, and where we're at now is still a good, like on a good day, no traffic, 30 minutes drive from my place. But on a bad day, anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour sometimes to get here, which is just no bueno. And like the shop space definitely is, it's tough to do everything that we need to do here. We don't even have a bathroom here and all that kind of stuff. And I want to start getting offices and getting more staff and an editing team and all that kind of stuff. So this is definitely our biggest limiting factor right now. So we're really focusing behind the scenes to try and grow and find a new potential shop that isn't going to break the bank, if that makes sense. That aside though, like I said, none of the other cars are here. So let's go through, I guess the next car we should probably talk about is the abandoned S15. So that car right now is just waiting for me to get some space here so that we can pull everything out and get that flipped around very, very quickly. I also am just trying to hunt down a parts car. So I'm in the process of talking to, if you saw the abandoned RX-7 video, you guys know that there was an S15 there that had a rear crash. In the process of trying to contact and negotiate with the owner of that and pick that up for a steal so that we can bring that back, cut the rear end off it, and use the front tubs and some like little parts off that to go onto the blue abandoned S15, and also new doors for this car. That would be nice off that. Also side mirrors are on that car too, which is nice. So that's kind of where we're at there. And then once I have everything, we're gonna turn that thing out in just a couple weeks. Like I'm gonna have that thing pulled apart with the whole motor disassembled, inspected, rebuilt. We're probably gonna find something wrong in there. I'm expecting pistons to be around the wrong way, but we will have that whole motor torn down and hopefully rebuilt in the span of 1 to 2 weeks. We'll have their car done at the same time, all the body work done with like fixing any rust and stuff on the car. and then I'm gonna try and get the car painted and everything at the same time frame. So I'm hoping to have that car, like the whole build completed in just 1 month, which is crazy, but I know we're gonna be able to do it. So that car is kind of, that's where that's at. That's just sitting, lying and waiting now. There's nothing for me to really do on that until I'm ready to just smash it all out in 1 month and give you guys a whole bunch of content and have that thing drifting by the end of it and it being super sick. So that aside, we need to talk about the abandoned R32 Skyline project. Now that thing I only need probably another month on that as well. We're at the point now where I've been looking for a drivetrain for it forever. I'm sure you guys know that I could go and buy a drivetrain for it that I want, but the prices of Japanese motors on Yahoo Auctions and eBay and anywhere in the world right now is stupid expensive, but they're not selling for that money. So in Japan, for instance, an RB26 is 10 grand, a 2JZ is 10 grand, an RB25 Neo is 10 grand on Yahoo Auctions. They are the same listings and they are never moving and they're never selling. Occasionally you see one of those engines pop up for auction and they sell for 2 to 3 grand. So that's the real selling value. The problem is everyone who wants to sell their engines, they see that people are trying to sell their engines for 7, 10 grand on like Yahoo Auctions and they think that that's what they're worth, but that's just big companies trying to hold onto stock and set a new price point and make people think that these things are worth more money than they are. But they're not, right? They're worth the $2,000 to $3,000 that they sell for, which is still more expensive than they should be, but that's kind of where the market's at right now for an RB25 Neo or an RB26 or a 2JZ. They're selling around the $2,000 to $3,000 mark right now. Now the problem is when those do pop up, everyone's trying to buy them, right? And no one wants to pay more than 3 grand, so it's always a bidding war. So that's my issue right now. I'm just trying to find an engine package that I want to put into the R32 Skyline. I already do have an engine package for it. I'm just torn on whether or not to go ahead and put that in it. So we'll talk about that when we do more videos on the 32 Skyline, but I kind of do have an engine package for it, but I'm kind of going against that idea now and we might just end up putting that in another car. So that's kind of where the 32 abandoned Skyline's at. We're also trying to just find some more interior pieces for it, which are all over Yahoo Auctions and I just need to make a list and buy them. But that's where that car's at. The next car we should probably talk about is the 350Z. 350Z is pretty much done, all intention purposes. Like it's a really good, like consistent drift car. It's super cool. It drives really, really well. And it's like that car that I just want to give to all my friends to like learn to drift in and teach them and all that stuff. So the 350Z is kind of done, but I'm not done with the exterior. I want to get that car completely repainted and I'm trying to find like a really good looking aero kit for it. I hate everything over here. The closest thing that looks good is the Vertex kit, but it makes the front bumper like an extra meter longer. Like it looks stupid. So I'm torn on that. I might just go with a stock front bumper and just maybe put some like nice little fiberglass like over fenders on the front and just be done with it. But yeah, that car is probably going to be getting painted soon and that'll look really nice. We're going to change the color entirely. So the chaser now, as you guys know, the engine is hurt in that. I kind of gave you a little update, but the plan is we're going to build a forged 1J on the side with that spare engine I have out the back at side X. We're going to probably go with like HKS rods and pistons. We're going to get the head done, probably go for 1mm over valves and just kind of like a light porting, try and get a bit more airflow through the 1J heads. And that's kind of where that's at. It's going to be really like bulletproof, solid motor that shouldn't give me any problems. And we'll also be changing the hot side. At the same time, I do want to redo the whole chaser and clean it all up, make it look good again. So that'll probably be coming closer towards the end of the year. Right now, the compression's still kind of consistent. It is low, but it's consistently low. So it can still run. It's just not like as peppy as it used to be. And we'll just keep running it for now. As long as we keep doing oil changes and kind of keep an eye on it, we should be able to save it from shooting a rod out. But you know, Drift Mitsuri is coming up and it's the summer Mitsuri and that's the hottest one there. So there's a chance it might happen, so you guys probably want to make sure you don't miss out on that content. I guess we should talk about the Formula Drift S15 with the 2J. My future plans for that is kind of just keep tweaking it and getting it dialed. Every time I've tried to go up to Ebisu and get seat time in it these last few weeks, the weather has been terrible. If you guys have been paying attention to the news, we're dealing with torrential downpours and there's flooding everywhere. So much in fact that there's a good chance that the next Formula Drift round may actually even get canceled because the rain is just not expected to stop and it's supposed to keep going for like another 3 to 4 weeks of non-stop heavy rain. And up where Sugo is, they're getting it bad and there's a lot of flooding and stuff. So yeah, the weather has been really bad, and up at Ebisu Circuit, there's just, it's so hard to get a dry day right now. I don't think we're gonna get dry weather up there at least till next month. So that's kind of where we're at with the Formula Drift S15 and everything there. I just really need to dial in the suspension and make a few like comfort changes to how I'm sitting in there and how I feel, so I feel comfortable in the car and get used to it. So that's it. Just need a bit more seat time and practice and that and get the hang of it. I've never driven a car and drifted a car with that much horsepower before and that much turbo lag. So getting all of that used to that whole new platform is just where I'm at. So take a few times and then we should be able to mess everyone up and get the podium. So there's that. What's the next car? I had to change seating positions, but the next car we need to talk about is the S13 in the USA. You guys have been blowing up my DMs asking about if I still have that car and what's going on. And to be completely honest, that car, I'm still sitting on the fence about. I'm really close to pulling the trigger to getting a whole bunch of stuff like done to the car. So it's a super reliable drift car with an SR and the S chassis platform. The only thing that really concerns me is its left-hand drive. Last time I was in the States, I did a lot of driving on left-hand drive cars, and I really didn't like driving on the left-hand side of the car. It just didn't feel natural to me. Now, in saying that, I always like a challenge, and I want to get good at left-hand driving and be able to just jump in any like left-hand or right-hand drive car and shred. But I don't know if I want to invest a bunch of money into building that S13 and still not feel at home in the driver's seat, if that makes sense. So where I'm at with that car is, if someone came to me and offered me what I want for it, I would probably sell it and then bring over like an S15 from here in Japan or an S14 or something like that over to the States, or maybe like a 32 Skyline or something, and have that as my like focused street slash drift car over there in the USA that I would use for things like drift weeks and stuff like that. So, and like mild competitions, like maybe clutch kickers or stuff. But to be honest, clutch kickers, you need like an 800 horsepower car now to be competitive. So thanks, Adam, for ruining that. No, I'm joking. But anyways, that aside, you guys know what I'm saying. I just don't feel comfortable and at home in a left-hand drive car. Now, if that changes and I start feeling more comfortable in it, then maybe we'll keep it. But just for now, I'm on the fence with that car. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, if anyone is interested in buying a rust-free S13 with a baller SR forged setup and a link ECU and stuff, hit me up in the DMs, but I'm not accepting anything less than $20,000 USD. There's also a bunch of parts that come in the trunk with the car and origin over fenders and stuff like that if you're interested. But yeah, I'm still on the fence with that thing, and if someone offered me the right money for it, I'd probably say yes. To be completely honest, with all the parts and everything, I'd probably want at least 22 for it. And I know that's high side, but it's a an East Coast car. Sorry, a West Coast car. Yeah, West California. Yeah, West. It's a West Coast car. It has pretty much no rust anywhere. Like, I didn't find any rust on the car, and it's really clean for an S13. It's never been crashed. The paint's not that great because it's a Mako spray job. But I mean, to be honest, anyone who wants an S13 is going to end up probably repainting it anyways. And it's going to come with like origin over fenders and stuff. So if you want to turn that into like a really sick like drift car, you can. So that's kind of where I'm at with the S13 in the USA. Now, the S13 180SX or 200SX in Australia, that's currently being looked after by Semi Vanes at Ataka Garage. Hopefully he should have the RB20 all forged and built and back together for that thing in the next 6 to 12 months. My goal is to have that car. I've given them a goal to try and have that finished and ready for me by the end of like the next like 12 months or so. So that thing should be back together and good, which means that'll be my Australia shred car. My goal is to kind of have cars in these places where all my friends and homies are at, so I can just jump over, fly over and drive with them and have a bunch of fun. So it'll be cool. It'll also be cool because I'm sure the guys at Ataka Garage will be uploading some content when they're building that car, which is super cool. It's gonna have nitrous, it's a twin turbo RB20, it's super unique, and I'm sure you guys will enjoy that. Anyways, so that aside, I don't think there's any other cars I'm missing other than the K-Van and the truck.
I mean, you're planning to get a new truck.
Yeah, they know. I mean, I'm planning to, I told you guys that truck that we had was just a placeholder for now. I want a dual loader. For me to get the dual loader, like the twin car like loader truck that I want though, I need to upgrade my license to like an 11-ton license. So for that, I'm going to be doing some truck driving school stuff and I'm gonna be doing that probably either next month or the month after, which is a whole week-long process. But yeah, I'll be going to driving school for a week, getting my 11-ton license, and then when that happens, I'm selling the truck. So if any one of you guys want to buy a loader truck off me, it's old, but it runs. It's a turbo diesel. It's a Mitsubishi Canter. There's some places on the truck where there's rust and stuff in the bed and the tray and stuff, but that's just normal because of its age and how much it's driven. It's still worth 20 grand, that thing. So like, if you're interested in that, we could look at exporting it for you. I don't think it's 25 years old yet though, because I think it's 2000, is it? Yeah, so it's still a couple years away for USA legal, but anywhere else it's legal, so should be fine there. Actually, it's a 1999, I believe, or a 98, so it's like really close. But anyways, so there's that, and then the K-Van. The K-Van I might be trading in for the new model, just because I want the really cool fancy Suzuki K-Van, which has like automatic closing doors and the suspension's actually independent in the rear and stuff, so it's much better for driving down the highway. Also comes with better gearing, so you can actually cruise down the highway at 2,500 RPM instead of 5,000 RPM. So that would be a really cool upgrade. But still, it would be turbo and all-wheel drive, of course. I may also keep this as just like a company car for people like Khan and more future stuff to drive around in, but we'll see. It's just about to tick over 200,000 kilometers, and K-Vans, they don't have the best engines in them, and they always run really, really hot, and they tend to normally give out around like, you know, the 200,000 kilometer mark. So we'll see, we'll see. I kind of feel bad because I nearly forgot good old Sid the CD Civic in Australia. And when I was just there, I was actually planning to do a bunch of content, and I did kind of give you guys a run through, but obviously family stuff with dad and his condition and stuff, I wasn't able to do that. Also, he'd lost the keys and couldn't remember where they were, but parents did end up finding the keys like literally the day after we left. So that's kind of waiting for me to have some fun with it when we get back there to Australia. The car's actually relatively in really good condition. We do need to do a little bit of like body work in the front end though. There's like, at some point the previous owner like kind of bush bashed the car and hit a big rock. So under the radiator support, there's like a big thick piece there that's been like dented and pushed in. So we'll just, you know, ratchet strap that out and it'll be fine. But my plan with that car is to do a really fun D16 build on it. I've got a turbo waiting for it, and all these parts sitting in the trunk, just kind of waiting for us to have some fun with that car. And it still does have nitrous, so we'll be having some fun with that Civic, and maybe doing a K-swap on it, or, you know, maybe we'll sell it. And after we have some fun with it though, of course, we'll probably blow the D16 up and then sell it or something like that. But regardless, Sid the CD Civic, you're not done seeing that, and we'll be doing some more trips to Australia now that travel restrictions have all kind of chilled out, so we should be good there. But I think that's every car now that you guys know about that's on the channel. I don't think I've missed anything, have I, Khan?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think that's everything. Yeah, so this has been an update video, and let me know if you guys have any questions or anything you guys want to recommend me that I do or anything like that. But yeah, I hope you guys are satisfied. I hope you guys understand where we're at right now. We have a lot of projects, and I'm trying not to take on any more projects right now. I wasn't expecting to take on the abandoned S15. The blue one, but that kind of just fell out of nowhere, and you don't say no to a deal like that. And yeah, I mean, you guys know that whole situation. So my goal by the end of this year is to have the 33.4 back up and ripping, the abandoned S15 ripping and all back together and shredding, and that thing looking sick, this thing looking sick and all fixed up, aero paint wise, the Evo bodywork done, rolling, ready for a drivetrain, the 32 4-door, that's going to be complete, shredding and ripping, and the Chaser will be probably around that time at the end of the year, getting completely rebuilt and all the bodywork done and bringing that thing back from the dead. No longer a missile. I think that car's going to end up becoming something really, really special, and probably like my secondary kind of comp car, which may mean that I need to probably think about putting a 2JZ in it. Well, true, I do want to build like a 3.4 or a 3.6 liter 2JZ for my comp S15. Maybe we should put the comp 2J in. Okay, now we're going down the rabbit hole. We need to stop. I'm back home now, guys, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope it answered a bunch of questions that you've all had about what's happening to this car, what's happening to that car. I still am not entirely sure if I forgot anything.
But please let me know down in the comment section. I'll reply to as many comments as I can on this video and answer all those questions. But once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Smash that like button, write a comment, and subscribe. But before you go, make sure you go to SAMMIT.net and look at the countdown timer for the new drop. 2 new shirts. We've got Resurrecting the Dead, and we've got a new Build the Dream shirt. I know you're both gonna love that. Sorry, I know you're gonna love both of those shirts. It's so late, I can't even speak right now. But make sure you go look at the countdown, set your reminders up, and don't miss out. It's this Friday, 4 p.m. EST. And with that note, I will see you all in the next one. Peace out. Ciao, mata.